Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Anissa Fadila Permatasari. You can call me Anissa. I'm from Faculty of Medicine, Islamic Sultan Agung University, Semarang, Indonesia. In this occasion, I will try to present to you about my IMAP homework. As we may know, randomized control trials or RCT are the gold standard study design used to evaluate the safety and the effectiveness of healthcare interventions. Today, I'm going to read to you about an RCT article that entitled Effects of Food Supplementation on Cognitive Function, Cerebral Blood Flow, and Nutritional Status in Young Children at Risk of Undernutrition. So I will try to read it to you with using consort method of 2010. So what is consort? The term of consort stands for Consolidated Standards of Reporting Trials. It will provide us about the guidance or the recommendation for reporting all randomized control trials. I have divided my presentation into four parts. Firstly, I'm going to find the item of the consort checklist of introduction in the article. Secondly, I will going to find the item of the consort checklist of methods, followed by result in this RCT article. Thirdly, I'm going to find the items of consort checklist in the discussion. And finally, I will summarize my presentation. First of all, let us identify the title of the RCT with using SPICE method. I cannot find the component of the setting and also the endpoint in the title of the RCT, but I can identify the intervention. The intervention of this title is about effects of food supplementation on cognitive function, cerebral blood flow, and nutritional status in young children at risk of undernutrition. And this is the design of the study that is randomized control trial. So basically the article will tell us about the report findings of a study that community-based trial in evaluate the effects of the given food supplementation on cognitive function, cerebral blood flow, and nutritional status in young children at risk of malnutrition in 10 villages in Guinea-Bissau. So we're gonna start with the component 1A. As we can see here, the component 1A is about identification as a randomized trial in the title. So we can see this article has mentioned it. Next, we're gonna move to the component 1B. The component 1B is about structure of the summary of trial design, methods, result, and conclusion for the specific guidance. So we can see in here that this RCT article has structure of abstract that divided into several parts. There are objective, design, setting, participants, intervention, main outcome measurement, results, conclusion, and the abstract has also the trial registration. Next, for the component 2A, we gonna find the scientific background of the article. So this is the highlight orange color is about the scientific background about the RCT article, as you can see here. So the scientific background in the article is about undernutrition remains prevalent among young children worldwide, and it is associated with impaired cognition and can reduce educational attainment. Therefore, the evidence in this trial suggests that nutritional supplementation can help to promote the regenerative improvement in brain structure and also function in the children who have consumed an inadequate diet. After that, in the green highlight, we can find the 2B. The 2B is containing about specific objective. The specific objective of this article is about there are an increasement in developmental changes and arithmetic and reading ability, emotion regulation, and long-term academic and social competence for undernutrition children in this trial. We go to the number 3, especially number 3A. So there is no description further about the trial design because it only mentioned about this RCT is using method of randomized control trial only. Next, we can find the 3B. So for the 3B, we cannot find it because there was no important changes to the method after the trial commencement, such as eligibility criteria with reasons. So we can go to the 4A. 4A will tell us about the eligibility criteria for the participants. And the criteria for the participant is divided into two types. There is an inclusion and also the exclusion. So the inclusion of the participant was aged from 15 months until 7 years. So this is for the inclusion criteria, and for the exclusion criteria, were the child having severe acute malnutrition and triggering a referral to malnutrition clinic. Next, we gonna talk about 4B. So for the 4B, it is about the setting and location where the data were collected. The data of this trial is in the 10 rural villages in the Oyo and Tahu. It is the region of Guinea-Bissau in the West Africa. And then after we talk about the component of 4B, we gonna next to the component of number 5. So for the component number 5, we gonna talk about the intervention for each group with sufficient details to allow replication, including how and when they were actually administered. So we can find in this intervention that after the participants were actually administered with the control trial, they will given supplementary food that has named as the new soup in the 5 days each week. Next, we gonna talk about component 6A. So for the component 6A, we gonna find the completely defined, pre-specified primary and secondary outcome measures, including how and when they were assessed. So for the primary outcome, we can see right here, the trial using the discrete number of stickers found at follow-up multivariable Poisson models. And then for the secondary outcome, in this, the secondary outcomes will collected by NIRS or GCS measurements, hemoglobin concentration, anthropometry, and also the body composition by multivariable linear mixed model. Next, we gonna find the component of 7A. Okay, this is the component of 7A. 7A is talk about how sample size was determined. So the sample size calculated with a mean of difference 0.56 stickers between the intervention, standard deviation of 0.63, and the control groups was 0.62 in the children younger than 4, and sample sizes in this study were calculated with 80% power to detect half the mean pilot effect observed in the pilot, 0.2 and X stickers, full standard deviation 0.6 and 25 with an equal to 80 per intervention per age of the group. And for the target of enrollment in this trial was N equal to 150 per intervention per age group in the total N equal to 900 to account for an estimated 25% attrition and possible clustering within age group within families. And for the 7B, there is not in this trial, there is no any stopping guideline in this article. So the component 7B is absent in this article, yeah, guys. Next, after 7B, we're gonna talk about the component in 8A. Okay, so the 8A is talk about method used to generate the random allocation sequence. So in this article is mentioned that they are not using any block randomization by age or family size to preventing implementation mistakes, and our knowledge no error in the randomization occur. After it, we gonna talk about the component of, oh, I'm sorry. tadi ketukar antara yang 8A sama yang 8B. So for the 8A, it is talk about the method used to generate the random allocation sequence. Jadi kalau yang 8A itu kan lebih ke metode yang digunakan untuk menerapkan random allocation sequence. So for the answer for 8A is about this study design is using within a village cluster with the family as the father in this polygynous community as the unit of randomization. Nah, kemudian untuk yang 8B itu kan lebih menekankan about the type of the randomization, the details of any restriction such as blocking and block size. So in this article, explain that the researcher did not using the block randomization by age or family size to prevent implementation mistakes. And to our knowledge, there is no errors in the randomization occur. Next, we're gonna talk about the component number 9. So the component number 9 is talk about the mechanism used to implement the random allocation sequence, such as sequentially number containers, describing any steps taken to conceal the sequence until intervention were occurred. So the researcher implement the random allocation sequence with using the help of the data safety and monitoring plan. Involve telephone reporting for serious and unexpected adverse events. Jadi untuk mengimplementasikan random allocation sequence-nya, si peneliti dari si pembuat artikel ini menggunakan bantuan dari data safety dan monitoring plan dalam rangka untuk membantu melaporkan kalau misalnya ada hal-hal yang di luar kendali atau hal-hal serius yang terjadi di komunitas kesehatan tersebut. After talk about the component of number 9, we're gonna talk about the component number 10. So number 10 is explain us about who generated the random allocation sequence, who enroll participants, and who assign participants to the intervention. So as we can see right here in the gray highlight, that the randomization was performed with a help of random number generator, Strata version 14.2 that made by Tufts University study coordinator. Next, we're gonna talk about the component number 11A. So for the 11A, we're gonna find who was blinded after the assignment to the intervention. So the blinding is trained per diem staff who had conducted outcomes for previous nutrition studies that had no role in the intervention and were blinded to randomization measure outcomes. After it, we can talk about the component of 11B. So the component of 11B is talk about if there is a relevances, tell us about the description of similarity of the intervention. So basically, this article is tell us about given food supplementation that called Yusuf. Jadi di jurnal ini sebenarnya tuh ada pembahasan mengenai pemberian suplemen makanan kepada anak-anak yang mengalami undernutrition, yang dimana makanan tersebut kita kenal sebagai Yusuf. So for the previous study, Yusuf is also were pilot tested, but it is provided in a big bar. Besides, in this study, we're gonna using new soup too, but in the raw paste. Jadi sebenarnya ada kesamaan di penelitian sebelumnya itu juga pernah menggunakan suplemen makanan new soup ini, tapi dia menggunakan versi yang big bear atau yang sudah dipanggang. Tapi kalau yang di penelitian sekarang ini kita menggunakan yang raw paste seperti itu. Kemudian next we gonna talk about the component of 12A. So for the 12A, it is about statistical method that used to compare the primary and secondary outcomes. So the statistical method in this article will divided into 3 supplementary projects. So for the first one is A, right here, and then B, also C. So what is the difference from these three? The A is shows the proportional of children who had poor nutritional benchmark at baseline. It is defined as weight per age, Z score, height per age, Z score, or body mass index, Z score, less than -2, or the presence of mild, moderate, or severe anemia. In this study trial, found that 32% is the prevalence of high for HZ score less than -2 and 73 prevalence of anemia. And then for the B, statistical method will show baseline characteristic for the protocol population. It is defined as children who consume more than or equal to 75% of their supplement, which were similar to the intention to treat population. And the last is statistical method using C. It will compare the baseline characteristic of the protocol children with the children who consume less than 75% of their supplement. Okay, we are already done explaining about 12A. Now we're going to the component of 12B. So in the component 12B, we're gonna talk about the methods for additional analysis, such as subgroup analysis and also the adjusted analysis. Jadi di 12B ini kan menyatakan untuk kita mencari apakah ada analisis tambahan untuk di primary dan juga di secondary outcome. So I found it in the primary outcome. There was additional analysis that indicates the 12B components. So the first model is including a random effect for village were applied to sample with one randomly selected child per family. This will be effectively removing the family level of clustering. And the second additional analysis is using models that apply to full sample. It is about the village included as an additional covariate. So we already done also talking about the 12B. Now we're going to talk about the component of 13A. So for the 13A, there is a 3 table that mention about the number of participants who were randomly assigned, received intended treatment, and analysis of the primary and secondary outcome, including losses and occlusion. So there are three in this RCT that mention about it. This is the first table. This is the second table. And this is the third table. Next, we're gonna talk about the component of 13B. So the component of 13B is talk about what is the losses and exclusion after the randomization together with the reasons. So the new soup is containing about several ingredients, including cocoa and also moringa. That cocoa and moringa is could be sourced locally, so it is cheap to get it. But in others, it is using protein sources too. So the protein sources it is expensive. So it makes the losses of money of the researcher to do this trial too. After we know the losses and exclusion of this article, we're gonna talk about the component of 14A. So for the 14A, it is talk us about the dates defining the periods of recruitment and follow-up. So this only mention that the trial is occurred in 23 weeks to during the periods of recruitment and follow-up. Jadi hanya disebutkan bahwa diperlukan waktu sebanyak 23 minggu untuk melakukan rekrutmen dan juga follow-up dalam melakukan trial ini. Next, we're gonna talk about the component 14B, but unfortunately, there is no reason why the trial is being ended or is being stopped. There is not mentioned it in this article. Jadi kita tidak bisa membahas yang 14B karena komponennya itu tidak ada di jurnal ini. We are going to the component 15 right now. So for the component 15, we are going to find about the table that showing baseline demographic and also clinical characteristic for each group. So what is the difference between the demographic and also the clinical characteristic? So like age, gender, like male or female, then about the anthropometry, it is talk about the demographic. But when it is talk about weight, height, body mass, and also there is anemia, it is talk to us about the clinical characteristic. Then we gonna move to the next component number 16. So for the component number 16, uh, this is how the number of participants included into each analysis, whether the analysis by this original assigned group. You can see in right here. This is for the component of number 16. Then we move again into 17A component. So the component of 17A, it will talk to us about the interpretation of the effect and also the result for each primary and secondary outcome. So in this article, it is containing three effects of the supplementation. The firstly is in the working memory. So in the working memory, I have been read this article. It is talk about for the children younger than 4, we will found a positive effect of new soup compared with the control meal in accrued model 1, adjusting only for age, sex, study, and also baseline working memory. And for among children age 4 and also older, it is no statistically significant effect of new soup was found compared with the control group. Second effect is about effects of the supplementation on cerebral hemodynamic. So, what is the effect? The effect is about the new subgroup had greater changes in CPF and also CMRO than the control group in the left ventrolateral prefrontal cortex. An increase in both measures was also detected in the right ventrolateral prefrontal cortex compared with the control group. Additionally, there are greater in both measures for Yusuf compared with FDF in the left ventral lateral and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And the last effect is about the effects of supplementation on hemoglobin concentration and growth. So it is will give divided by into parts. So the first is about the children younger than 4. In this intervention will show us that there are the increasement in the weight and body mass index Z score and decreased height for HZ score over time. But FPF is not increase the hemoglobin concentration in children with anemia, but the new soup did. And second type is for the children age 4 and also older will gaining weight. But in contrast, the effect in younger children, neither new soup or also FPF, it will have significant effects on body mass index, Z score or Hague for HZ score. We we already know about the component 17A. Now we're gonna talk about component number 17B. So the component number 17B, we're gonna find the binary outcome that present us about the absolute and relative effect sizes if it recommended. So I only find the absolute size for this article. So what is the absolute size in this trial? So the absolute is about that CPF is relative changes obtained with DCS alone. And also, oh sorry, berarti di trial ini ada keduanya J. For this trial, uh, for the 17B, we can find both of absolute and also relative effect. So for the relative effect is about CPF that can changes obtained with DCS. But in absolute effect, we also can obtain it by correcting for the tissue optical properties as measured by frequency or time domain NIRS with cerebral blood flow measured with gold standard methods. Then after it, we can continue to the component of 18 ya guys. So the 18 component is talk about the result of any other analysis performed, including subgroup analysis and adjusted analysis, distinguishing pre-specified from the exploratory. So there is an exploratory analysis of potential effect modification of supplementation, but the primary outcome was not statistically significantly increased. Then after it, we're gonna talk about component number 19. So for the component of number 19 is about all the important harms or unintended effects in each group. So I find one harms in this trial, that is the new soup is containing a lot of food, including also the caffeine. So the caffeine itself will give harms. What is the harm? The harm is decreases the brain blood flow and it is not improve the performance in executive function, depend on working memory in adults. Next, we're gonna talk about the component number 20. So the component of 20 is talk about the trial limitation. There are four trial limitations in this study, such as the first is data analysis reveal unequal mean hemoglobin concentration at baseline across the groups of young children. Secondly, no such differences were seen in the older children who came from the same families, which argues against some undetected flaw in the randomization. The third is the trial did not screen for color vision deficiency. It was only feasible to distribute the supplements 5 days a week. And the last limitation is about the trial did not measure the possible compensation in home food supplies. Next, we're gonna talk about the component number 21. So the component number 21 is about the general applicability for the trial. So in this text, we can know that this trial is applicable for supplementary nutrition programs in low and middle income countries for the children living in affluent countries who consume an unhealthy diet, and for the other groups such as older adults with inadequate nutrition and also cognitive impairment. Next, we are gonna talk about the component of 22. So for the component of 22, we're gonna talk about the interpretation consistent with the results. So the interpretation is divided into two types. It was for the new soup and also FDF. Let me talk to you about the interpretation of the new soup first. So the component of new soup will giving a development of working memory in early life, plays a role in long-term academic and social competence, theory of mind, emotion regulation, and also deficit in executive function abilities are linked to the developmental delay. Furthermore, the training program specifically targeting executive function abilities in childhood will improving the reading and also the arithmetic ability. This observation suggests that Yusuf could have long-lasting impacts on educational attainment and cognition. Yusuf also caused an increasement in cerebral blood flow, which support the finding of improved working memory. And for the health, the Yusuf also had an effect, specifically an increasement in hemoglobin in children younger than 4 with anemia and improve the quality of growth. And then I will talk to you about the interpretation of the FPF. So the interpretation of the FPF is suggesting that measuring a single domain general ability that widely support cognitive development throughout childhood, including executive function, might identify the benefits of traditionally supplementary foods or specifically aspects of the cognition. After talk to you about the number 22, now we're gonna talk about the component of number 23. So the component of 23 is about the registration number and name of the trial registry. You can see right here the ORCID 0000 strip 00003 and 1320 and also 8040 460 is about the registration number. And then for the 24 is about the full trial protocol can be accessed. So you can cite in this link that can full trial protocol can be accessed. And for the component 25, we're gonna talk about the fundings. As you can see in here, sources of the funding in this trial is from the Bill Swapel and Jerry Samuelson, Judy and Peter Hourihan, Karen, Ivan, and Janet Brown that given the money to the Tufts University and by the Boston Foundation or CBR to give the funding of this RCT article. So in the conclusion, we can find 22 items of the 25 concept checklist in this RCT article that concludes my presentation. I'm sorry if there were any mistakes during my presentation. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye guys.